My earliest memories in my life are, among them are being on a set when I was 4 doing The Journey in Vienna. And what I remember are things like crawling around on what were supposed to be the Russian tanks, or Yul Brynner, who was supposed to, play this Russian border colonel or something, and he takes a shot of vodka. He's trying to intimidate everybody and bites the shot glass. And he bit the shot glass and looked over at me. I was 4 and my eyes were wide open. And he said, I remember in between takes, he said, Ronnie, come here. And I went over and sat on his knee and he said, now this is sugar. You would taste it. See, it's not, this is make-believe. You would never bite real glass. Never. I would never do that, and neither should you. So, I was always being looked after.
It was Don Drysdale, Sandy Koufax contract negotiation that made you realize you're doing quite well.
Yeah, well, that was late in the life of the Andy Griffith Show.
But it was extraordinary money you were earning for a kid.
I realized what they were holding out for, and the idea that Don Drysdale and Sandy Koufax, might not play for the Dodgers that year. And I started to do the math of what I would earn acting in new episodes plus the residuals that were coming in.
Right.
And I said, I'm making a little bit more money than Sandy. And I just thought, my heart sank. That's not really fair. And they're threatening my Dodgers season, and little Opie is, earning as much. Now, come on.
You were how old then?
I was probably 11.
Do you miss day in, day out living here?
No, I don't. I really love living in the East.
Really? Okay.
I love the energy of New York. I really like the weather changes. It's dynamic. I like that movies and TV and media is not the center of the world,
right,
in where we live. That's partly why we moved. If you are in the industry here, it starts to feel like a company town. And Cheryl and I just didn't want to raise our kids that way, because I love it.
Right.
We just didn't want to imprint that or make it seem disproportionately important. So instead we raised them in a place where the entertainment business was kind of cute and adorable.
All right, so we were starting to talk about your morning walks earlier. How often do you do them?
Well, I try to do it every day somewhere. When I direct, I'm on my feet.
Uh-huh.
I really move around. I love to. It energizes the crew, it energizes me, burns off my nervous energy. When I'm on a set, it's usually a 20,000 step day. When you're starting to lose the light, I really start to move around. And I remember one time, this was doing the movie Rush about Formula One racers.
Oh, sure.
We were shooting this scene, and it was in the pits, and we had to go from one end to the other, and we'd split up the units, and we had them shooting. So one unit was shooting over here trying to get this scene at the end of the light, and then another one was setting up down here just to try to get one last shot.
Right.
And so we got that shot, and I started sort of jogging toward the other camera to try to get it. And our second assistant director was jogging along with me with a radio. Yes, we're going down to the other unit, trying to let everybody know what we were doing.
Yeah.
And I looked over to her and I said, do you know why we're jogging? And she said, no, Ron, she was English, no, Ron, I really don't. And I said, well, because if we hustle for one more shot every day of our 60-day shooting schedule, and we average about 30 setups a day, that's 60 times we got another shot. That's 2 days of shooting. And if everybody sees I'm willing to run for it, maybe they will too. I built my career as a director around my understanding of what it means to act and to try to maximize a scene, through performance. And it took me, the thing that I've worked on the rest of my career is to understand the language of cinema and know how to be as conscientious and creative with that as I can easily be working with great actors. Sometimes you go into a film and you sort of say, well, we don't know quite how we're going to achieve this, either technically or physically. Mm-hmm. With 13 Lives, we weren't 100% sure how we were going to be able to, capture those cave environments. Same thing with the fires in backdraft for weightlessness in Apollo 13. And so, you know, kind of also having thick enough skin and kind of enough courage, maybe a little willingness to bull the studio.
Really? So, like, give me an example.
I got this. The weightless thing, no problem. We've got it. We're going to work it out. Meanwhile, we're over here testing. The wires look terrible. It's all awful.
And freaking out a little bit.
And I'm freaking out a little bit, but it's going to be fine, folks.